Right now it's November the 15th, 2012, 16:13 p.m. and it's exactly 40 hours and 13 minutes since I saw Breaking Dawn Part 2. And yes, I know that the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2 is a movie, not a book, but it's a movie based on the ending of one of my favorite book series. So I'm going to talk about it anyways, and I was so excited when I watched it, and it was so good, and I was crying at the end, not because it was sad, but because it was the end. So that was not very funny. This is not going to be spoiler free, it's going to be full of spoilers, so you're watching at your own risk, okay? So, but the first really funny scene was at the beginning. It was where Bella finds out that Jacob imprinted on her, and I have to say, even though I love Jacob, he's one of my favorite characters, it was really fun seeing him getting his ass kicked by Bella. Well, she didn't really kick his ass, but she like pushed him and shouted at him, and it was really entertaining actually. I don't know if I'm a bad person for thinking that, but I do. I thought that Bella and Edward's cottage was really pretty. It was so beautiful. While I read the book, I had a really hard time imagining the cottage in my head. I'm really bad at doing that kind of stuff, so I was really excited to see what it looked like in the movie, and I was not disappointed. It was so pretty. I wish I lived there, but it was so pretty. One of the scenes I was most happy that they actually put in the movie, because I was a little worried that they'd leave it out, that they'd just talk about it. It was when Jacob shows his werewolf side to Charlie. It was really funny when he started undressing and Charlie was like, "No, kid, put your clothes on, please." But he didn't actually do that. But another thing that I really liked was when Jacob was at home doing whatever he did with his bike, and Sam walks into the garage and they shake hands. I don't remember that happening in the books, but I really liked that. It showed that, okay, Sam isn't going to let what has happened be between them, and they kiss and make up, kinda, but they didn't kiss, obviously. So that was something I really liked. And Renesmee, she was so cute, and Mackenzie Foy is amazing, and I don't know what to say. Mackenzie is awesome. She's so young, but she's so talented, and she's so cute, and she looks so much like Kristen. It's scary. Vampire Bella was awesome. She says this thing, it's in the trailer too, something like, "I was born to be a vampire" or something. Born to be a vampire, I think that sounds kind of weird, but she was born to be a vampire? It sounds weird saying that, but she does such a great vampire, and she's so amazing. Bella not being a vampire would not be good, because then they wouldn't be able to be together forever. I almost had a heart attack in the movie, because when they confronted the Volturi and they took hold of Alice and they killed Carlisle and they killed Jasper, and a bunch of werewolves or shapeshifters were killed, and all these fighting, and everyone just died everywhere, and I was somewhere around the start of the battle I started crying, and then I didn't stop crying until I sat in the car on my way home. My heart was going like this the whole time, and I was so mad that I thought they had killed off Carlisle and Jasper and a bunch of shapeshifters. I'm really sorry, I don't really recognize them in their wolf forms, but I think Seth was one of the ones that died, I'm not sure. And then suddenly it all just stopped, and it was at the beginning, before the battle, and Alice said something about that was how it was going to be if Aro decided that there would be a battle. And I just started crying even more out of relief, and everyone in the theater just applauded and cheered and was like screamed because it hadn't been real. And that was just brilliant. I loved that, because just standing there and talking a little and stuff and like that hadn't been really good in a movie. It worked in a book, but in a movie it wouldn't work. So that battle thing, it was amazing. It was so good, and I was so scared, and I thought I was gonna die because of it, but I loved it. I'm so happy that they did it, and I don't know how they would have done it any better. So that was probably the best thing about the whole movie. It was Alice's vision of the battle that she showed to Aro. And I loved the ending too, where Alice had the vision about the future, and where Jacob and Renesmee were together, and Edward and Bella were there, and then Edward saw Alice's vision because he can read minds, but no one else saw it, and they just smiled at each other like, yeah, it's going to be alright, we're going to live, and everyone are going to be happy. It was so great, and I cried so much, and everyone just stared at me like I was crazy. I kind of thought that more people would get emotional because it was a Twilight midnight premiere, so I kind of thought it would be super fans, but no one was dressed up or anything either. So I guess not, but yeah, well, I didn't really care that people were staring because I was too busy crying eyes out. But let's not talk about that, because I'm going to start crying again, like I did in my Mark of Athena review. So this is not in the movie. Now I'm going to talk about other stuff having to do with it, but not the actual movie. Because it was a midnight premiere, and at like 9 PM on the 13th we saw Breaking Dawn Part 1, and then there was a break between, and then at midnight, when it was the next day, the 14th, we saw Breaking Dawn Part 2, and everyone who had bought tickets and were there, we got these like VIP things. It looked kind of like how I imagine one of those VIP things would look, so that we could go out of the theater and then go back in and be let in, because we'd have that around our necks and they'd know that we had paid a ticket. And wait a minute, it looked like this. So on this it says Breaking Dawn, and we had it like that, and it's like a little poster, Twilight and them. And when I got it, I was so happy, because we got one of these last year too, and I won one for this year where it said Breaking Dawn Part 2. And when we got it, I looked at the back, and beautiful creatures. I started fangirling so much, and everyone were just staring at me like I was an idiot, but I mean, beautiful creatures! So we got these, and I was so happy because beautiful creatures. And then they showed the trailer before Breaking Dawn Part 2, and I almost like shut out of my seat, and to my friends I was like, guys, this is the trailer to Beautiful Creatures, and they had no idea what that was. I mean, they didn't remember that this was Beautiful Creatures. So I was, guys, it's the back of the VIP thing. It's the trailer for that. Oh my god! And they were like, oh my god, Elin, we don't know her. We don't know her. We don't know who she is. She's just there. And then I shut up. So that's it, guys. And I'm really going to miss Twilight, because Twilight is one of my favorite book series in the world ever. But I guess I'm going to be alright. I mean, I'm kind of alright after Harry Potter ended too, even though I'm really sad about it sometimes. I'm guessing it's going to be like that up now because of Twilight too. But I'm going to be alright, and I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll see you guys soon. And oh, right, this has nothing to do with Twilight or the book or the review or anything, but so I love Doctor Who, and my dad and older little brother have been making fun of that show for so much, just because I love it. They had never seen an episode, so yesterday evening I made them sit down in the living room with me and watch the first episode, and they ended up thinking it was awesome. So, ha! To them! Okay, bye now.